Brought to you by Penguin.
Tales of the Marvellous and News of the Strange by Malcom Lyons, translator. Read by Taheen Modak.
Both for ease of listening and because it contains details of the plot, we've placed the introduction to this Penguin classic at the end of the audiobook.
Tale 1. The story of the King of the Two Rivers, Sehun and Jehun, his son Calcub and his experience with the Chamberlain Ghast. An astonishing tale. Of the stories presented in this text, this is the most seriously affected by lacunae. These cover the introduction of Prince Calcub, who is the son of King Folk, king of both Sehun and Jehun, while his unnamed mother has had an important, if unrecorded, role to play in causing the exile from Sehun of the villain. This man, the Chamberlain, is found in the service of Farah, whom Folk appointed as ruler of Jehun, and who is generally referred to as the King. Yakuta is Farah's daughter, once wrongly described as his sister. They say, and God knows better and is more glorious and nobler, that amongst the stories of ancient times and past peoples is one that is suited to the intelligence of men of understanding who both ask and give. There was a great, powerful and distinguished king named Folk, who commanded the obedience of his subjects, whom he treated with generosity. He was strong and powerful and could seize wild beasts with his bare hands. His reputation spread, and he humbled lions in their thickets and abashed powerful kings. He had a servant named Farah, whom his father had brought up with him, and of whom he thought so highly that, when his territories increased, he handed over half of them for Farah to rule, exercising authority over their peoples. Folk ruled what was known as Sehun, while Farah ruled Jehun and its surroundings. Life was easy for the inhabitants of these lands. There was no enemy for them to fear and no bloodshed, and so they enjoyed a life of ease, eating and drinking untroubled by sadness. Folk himself was a generous man, prodigal with gifts, a distributor of robes of honor. One day, as he was riding outside his city with his men, a messenger approached him, and at the sight the escort drew up in 2 lines watching him. The man dismounted and approached the king on foot. When the king heard this, he said, "How did this dog get onto the mainland?" The vizier said, "That is the way to the left of town." But the king said, "He is safe and, by the Lord of the Kaaba, no one will reach him." He then concealed what he was thinking from the vizier, and the vizier did not return to the subject. They had pigeons with them, and wherever they arrived the vizier would release them, and so the king would know what nobody else knew. As for the commander of the citadel, when they reached it he came down, kissed the ground and sent out provisions, as well as stores of all kinds. Calcub gave generous gifts and camped beneath the citadel in order to hunt, he being a great and generous prince. Pigeons were carried in cages behind the hunters and sent off every morning so that the king might enjoy hearing what his son was doing. The king and the prince's mother were relieved as the time mentioned by the astrologer had passed. The prince told his companions to take provisions for 3 days and form a great circle within which to hunt. Afterwards, they could go back to strike camp and return home, this being a long distance away. He told the vizier that there was no need for him to come with them, and he could stay as last man in the camp. He himself rode out lightly equipped with the commander of the citadel, and after 2 days they came to a depression shaped like the palm of a hand in which there were so many beasts that they crowded against each other. He called for the mare that was mentioned earlier, tightened the girths around its flanks and mounted. He then struck in his spurs and dropped the reins, at which the mare bounded off like a lightning flash up a high hill and down the other side, where it galloped across open country. The prince, who thought that his men were following him, reached a place where there was water, which he spurred the mare to cross. It pricked up its ears, blew out its nostrils, and reared up so as to show the hollows behind the top of its legs. The prince hit it on the rump with his whip, but then saw that it was confronted by a lion.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?